I'm going to start with Raj Monicam.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Craig. Hi, everyone. I'm Raj Manikam. I'm with Atropos Health, a startup spun off from Stanford School of Medicine. I'm part of the data science team. I focus on epidemiology end of things. I'm super excited to join the community again. I got introduced to OMOP about 10 years ago. I thought it was great, but it has also meant a lot of effort with not much value at the end of the day, in my personal opinion. But came back to the community about 2 years ago, and so it's amazing level of involvement from people, lots of tools and depth, and going all the way to from open source to open science. And I'm also part of the Chiron team, and so I'm getting a lot of support from the team. And here, shout out to Adam and Paul. Um, Really excited to be here, learn from you all, and contribute and network and have some fun along the way.
Great. Thank you, Raj. If anybody, when you introduce yourself, if you want to just throw your email or any information in the chat for people to follow up with you, please do. The chat is very, people use the chat a lot during these calls, and so that might be a good idea. Okay, Amira. Apologies if I butcher anybody's name here. We have Amira on. They shouldn't put a last name. All right, we can try to go back. Christina Dureja? All right, maybe I'll have more time than I think. Lure Wires.
Yeah, that's me. Hi. Hi, everyone. So I'm Laura. I'm from Belgium, from the company named Linkscare. We're a company that our main goal is to make data from the EPDs available using natural language processing, which we've been doing now for a few years. So we're already familiar with OMOP. But one of our recent challenges is to get genomic data into OMOP. For those who already tried to know that it's quite a challenge. So that's why I joined, because I'm very interested in what the oncology work group is doing. I found some interesting documentation from the previous years, so I'm very happy to look forward to where we're going to in the future and how we can collaborate here.
Great, thank you, Lure. Nathan Hall.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nathan, or Nate Hall. I'm a new member of the epidemiology and observational health data analytics team at Janssen. Really excited to be here and also join in on the Odyssey calls. Been really enjoying them so far. I come from a background with some experience in the vision science and ophthalmic research space, and have been working on a few projects there, mostly focusing my efforts so far on phenotype development and characterization, but I look forward to learning a lot more and getting more involved in some patient level prediction and estimation studies as well. And some of my personal research interests revolve around psychiatry and mental health research. So I look forward to hopefully connecting with some of you who might be in that space at the symposium later this year. And thanks again for having me. Really happy to be here.
Great, Nathan. Thank you very much. Rachel Davis.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel. I am actually an intern within ODA at Janssen this summer, which has been a great experience. I've gained a lot of insight working with real-world data, but also into the benefits of the Odyssey community. And I've also worked with some of the tools, and I've really been amazed at everything that you can do with them. In the fall, I'll be going into the second year of my MPH. I'm studying epidemiology at Yale, and I'm really interested in continuing to do a lot of the work that I've been doing this summer. I've done work in phenotyping and also in kind of a variety of different areas, trying to get as much experience as possible. So I'm really looking for ways to become involved in the community and also assist with maybe projects or work with collaborators elsewhere or at Yale, so I can continue doing this work even after my internship ends. Some of my personal interests just stem around health equity research and also infectious diseases. Nice to meet all of you.
Thank you, Rachel. I as I'm moving fairly quickly here, but if there's members of the community that, either want to make comments or answer a question or anything, please do just jump in, because like I said, we've already missed a couple of people, and I do want to make this a bit of a interactive thing if possible. So, but thank you, Rachel. Saskia?
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm Saskia Lawson-Tovey. I'm a data scientist in the Centre for Musculoskeletal Research at the University of Manchester. So I do a lot of work on national and European rheumatology studies, and I'm also an Elixir UK Fair Data Stewardship Fellow. So those of you who've heard of Elixir know they do a lot of fair data work. So I'm interested to see how Odyssey and OMOP can fit into the interoperability side of what I do. And in the past, I've also mapped to things like FHIR and SNOMED. So I'm curious to see what you guys are doing there as well. Thanks for having me.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Saskia. Ken Rivette? No, Ken. Okay. Ken actually registered twice. I thought he was really excited for this one.
I see Ken. We just can't hear him, but he's
all right. All right, let's try.
He's talking on mute. Ken, can you try to unmute?
Okay.
There we go.
Hopefully I'm on.
I hear you. Yep.
Sorry. I'm Ken Rivette. I work at IQVIA. We do a lot of work with COVID-19 in the US. So we're one of the data partners. I'm brand new to OMOP. I've worked with Miami and other data ontologies, but I'm very interested in learning what OMOP is about and also integrating. I see, there's an imaging working group, there's a psychiatry working group, and I'm hoping that there will be a genomics working group, and I'm looking to see if we can put those three together to really create a much more comprehensive, data view of psychiatric diseases. And so I'm just here to join the groups and learn what's going on and meet a lot of people, and I'll be going to the conference this October. So thank you for inviting me into this group. It's going to be very exciting.
Great, Ken. Thank you for introducing yourself, and great to hear that you'll be joining us at the symposium in October.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Siddharth?
Hello, hey, hi everyone. This is Siddharth Yaknik. You could call me Sid. I am actually an analytics manager at a company in India called as HealthArc Insights, and we actually work in doing a lot of data science solutions, and you're helping a lot of clients with a lot of analytics and building machine learning models and all those stuff. Interestingly, I've worked 9 years post this in banking and financial services, so healthcare is a completely different domain for me. And it's really interesting to learn about OMOP, and all those things are like very different compared to where I come from. So it was really interesting, and hoping to learn a lot from each and every one of you.
Excellent. Thank you, Sid. Again, if anybody introduce yourselves, throw your email or any questions you might have. I know some people put some questions specifically into the registration form, and I don't know if we're, you don't want to ask them because we feel like we're rushed, but we're not quite as rushed as I thought. So please do. Maybe we get through people and we can go back and ask some questions, engage a little bit more. But please do feel free to either throw your email address in, or any of the questions that you asked on the form, maybe you can put it in here too. So, but please do feel like you can ask some more questions. Will Halfpenny.
Hi everyone, and thanks Craig for organising all of this. Yeah, my name is Will. So I'm working as an intern over the summer at UCSD Health with one of the leaders of the Eye Care and Vision Research OMIP Work Group. And so I'm going to be working on there as sort of an earlier stage in the sort of the OMOP pipeline, where we don't know yet whether we can actually do the ETL or not. So my job for the summer is looking at doing the vocab mapping and looking at how we would actually implement that ETL. In terms of my background, so I'm a medical student going into my final year at Cambridge University in the UK. And I have a background before that in machine learning and information engineering, which is kind of the area that I want to go into. So sort of applying that to medicine. And as I've been going through that, I've ended up much more interested in sort of the surrounding glue as opposed to model development. It's like, data management and these other problems that we need to solve first so that we can actually put machine learning models and things like this into practice. So I actually got in touch with the lab here in California because I was interested in finding out more about sort of open source methods for handling data and information management and everything like this. So I was very excited to find out that Odyssey and OMOP was a thing. And yeah, all my experiences with the community so far have been really good and very supportive. So I very much look forward to seeing what I can do to help. And I imagine that I will be continuing, I hope I'll be continuing work with Odyssey a bit beyond the end of my internship. I'll put my email in the chat as well.
Great, thank you, Will. I do think, and a number of people mentioned it, but this is an incredibly welcoming community. If you can reach out and ask questions. Also, the Odyssey forums, which we should put the link to that, if somebody wants to put the link to that as I'm going off this list. But the forums are a great place to actually ask questions as well. Rajendra.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Rajendra. I'm based in New York. I work for a reinsurance company called Swiss Re. So I was introduced to OMOP and Odyssey like a couple of weeks back by David, Professor David Sontag.
Rajendra, there you go. I lost your audio there for a second.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I was saying that I'm more like a person who got introduced to OMOP and Odyssey quite recently. So and then I joined the community, and then I see there's a wealth of information in there. So basically, we're trying to harness the digital health data to accelerate the life insurance underwriting process. And that's where I'm thinking that maybe the CDM and the vocabularies and what we have in the Odyssey and OMOP CDM, that could be used for solving some of these problems. Yeah, so that's one of my main interests, and I see that I'm looking forward to learn a lot from the community, and also to be able to contribute as to how we are solving the problems on the insurance domain, using the best practices, if I can call them, in this community. Yeah.
Great, Rajendra. Thank you very much. Next up, I just have a first name, Frankie. That was all that was registered. So if you're Frankie, you can go.
I'm sad that Frankie's not
here. Frankie's
question. He or she needs only one name.
Their question was, where should I start? So the answer is joining this call and introducing yourself. All right, let's go to Camilla. Camilla, who I know has been active on the chat as well, but Camilla?
Yeah, I'm here. And it's a pleasure to be here with you all. In Stanford, Division of Sleep. If somebody is interested in this, in studying sleep medicine and, the treatment and complications of this disease. And I'm looking forward to understand in this community the best data set to work with the sleep medicine. So if somebody could help me or could join me, join our team, actually, it'd be a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, Camilla, I know your audio went a little in and out there, but she's put on a couple of things in the chat, really looking for study sleep data. So, to sleep data. So, sleep medicine data that was in the registration form. So, please reach out to Camilla and that. Lisa McEwen. Lisa, I don't know. I can't see if she's here. All right, we're going to give all these people a second chance. Max.
Hey, hello. Do you mean Natawut Aduyaniko, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Craig. I go by Max, but my full name is Natawut Aduyaniko. So I am from Siriraj Hospital, Mahidol University in Thailand. So Thailand is new to Odyssey and OMOP. And my hospital being the largest one in Thailand with about 2,000 beds, we have some resources to lead the effort here. We have just started converting our hospital data into OMOP CDM since the beginning of this year. And with the Odyssey ETL workshop back in 2021 and also online resources, we managed to do the development in-house and nearly finish our first OMOP CDM conversion. But we are not quite sure whether we have done the conversion perfectly or not. So if any one of you can help with the data quality, I think data quality dashboard is quite helpful as well, but we don't know whether we need to do something else on top of that. Also, I'm a PhD student in health informatics at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with Professor David Gotts. We are focusing on visual analytics in healthcare, and I will also be working with Odyssey Chiron open source development with Professor Paul Nagy as my advisor as well. I'm looking forward to contributing to the community and spreading the word about Odyssey in Thailand. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Max. Paula.
I guess that's me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if sorry?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Paula Busto. I am a data analyst, a statistician. I work for EBMT, that's the European Society for Bone Marrow Transplantation. And we have the registry for bone marrow transplants and other different cell source stuff in 70 different countries. It's mainly Europe, but this has grown to be outside Europe. So we have basically a big database. We recently joined the Eden project. So we are in the process of trying to map our database. Of course, it was very ambitious of us. We started with wanting to map everything. But as we went along, we understood that this is really a hard task and it's time consuming. So we had to downsize our expectations to what we want to map. We were present in the symposium, and that happened a few weeks ago. It was really good to know that there are a lot of other people also struggling with the semantic mapping of some things. Really looking forward to joining some of the working groups to see how things are going. And I cannot see the chat, so I cannot leave my email. Sorry for that.
That's all right. It's great to get introduced and to hear the work that you're doing. Robert Harity. Let's see. Okay, let's go. We'll keep going here. Behzad.
Hello.
Hi, Behzad.
Hi, Craig. Thank you very much. My name is Behzad, and I received my PhD in computer science from Turkey, and I'm working at Stanford University as a postdoctoral research fellow. Actually, I joined OHDSI Odyssey community since last year, and I started to learn Odyssey tools and method libraries, and I wanted to conduct any research on the STAR OMOP, Stanford University OMOP CDM databases. At the moment, I'm developing machine learning models for a project that focuses on postoperative opioid use management, and my research focus on generalizability and fairness of AI models in clinical applications. Therefore, I would like to conduct a research study on Odyssey network databases for external validation of our developed models for predicting postoperative proline opioid use, and as well as increasing the generalizability of our models by combining multiple machine learning models trained on different CDM databases, actually. And so I'm so excited to be part of the Odyssey community, and I hope I can continue my research and develop some network-based study in this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Behzad. Christopher McCauley. See Christopher trying to get off mute, so.
So close, we can see him.
All right, so there's a little less pressure as he tries to get off mute. Let's go to the next person, and then we'll go back. So Dwight Sanders. I see Dwight Sanders on the guest list. I'm going to let. Okay, try both again. Leanne Goldstein had reached out, but then said she might have to leave for a meeting. So I don't see her.
Hi, I'm sorry.
There you go. Yep, Christopher.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry about that. So my name is Chris Meckley. I'm an academic rheumatologist at Johns Hopkins in the U.S. A lot of my time is seeing patients, and I've been working very new to OMOP, but really love it, the idea of it, appreciate its value. And I've been working closely with Paul Nagy, I see on the call. Hi, Paul. And Will Kelly, who's also here, in trying to get our centers on the OMOP system, so to speak. Our interest is in a lot of rare diseases and rare outcomes within those rare diseases. So we're just starting now to build our first ETL and kind of get online as our center with OMOP. So I'm still figuring out the best ways to get a foothold, where I should. The Odyssey community seems amazing, but also a little intimidating and daunting in terms of so much steep learning curves, all the time it takes to really immerse myself. So I'm still trying to figure the best way out to do that, but I'm happy to see that the conference is in Bethesda, which is pretty close this year. So hopefully I can take advantage. Nice to meet you all.
Great, thank you, Chris. Kieran Mole.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me first?
Yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Craig, for fitting me in. My name is Karen. I'm based in the United States, Southern California, in the Los Angeles area. I'm currently a director of HUR Data Analytics and Research within Regeneron Pharmaceutical. And I'm not entirely new to the OMOP CDM. Prior to joining Regeneron, I worked for IBM Watson Health as part of the FDA BEST network. I led the effort of converting our claims data to what I like to call the FDA BEST flavored OMOP CDM. But I'm glad in my new role, I get to continue my journey on Odyssey. So in my current role, my team is in the process of getting ourselves trained up. Various OMOP tools such as Atlas and so forth. We're studying very hard. The goal is we all attend the October symposium, and at the time we'll be pretty well versed, so we can bring questions to the symposium, make it the most productive experience. Really looking forward to kind of get more integrated in this community and working with you all. Thank you so much.
Great, Karen. Thank you so much. Ying Li.
Hey, hello everyone. Could you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Hey, I'm Ying, and I came from Regeneron Pharmaceuticals as well, and I'm sitting in the same team with Kelan Mo. And my journey with Odyssey is started about 10 years ago when I was a graduate student at Columbia University. Actually, back then, I talked to Patrick Ryan and George very much about this common data model things, and also we have co-authored publications about the pharmacovigilance study. So after that, I went to IBM Research to conduct several machine learning and study for the pharmacovigilance purpose as well. Then I moved to the Regeneron. Right now, I'm in the health economics and outcome research. And as Kelan mentioned, that our group has adopted OMOP common data model about 3 years ago. And right now we are in the process to learn better about this model. And then I'm in charge of applying machine learning and all kinds of the advanced analytics based on the common data model to conduct either patient level predictive analysis or causal inference in other trial protocol related studies. And I look forward to work with you and rejoin this community and hope in a way I can contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Ying. Brian Martin, I saw you put in something in the chat, but we have time. Brian Martin.
Sure. Thank you. I'm Brian Martin. I'm a physician, computer scientist, postdoc in EPI. I work with MITRE Corporation. We're basically, we run 6 R&D skunkworks for the U.S. government, and we're currently working on a project to develop a portable medical record with privacy-centric, patient-centric medical record. Follow some of the global health, human rights concerns. Glad to be working here. We are planning to integrate the OMOP CDM with our health records bank that's part of our product. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Brian. I'm going to go back to just some of the names that weren't there the first time. Amira, Christina Dureja.
This is Amira.
Oh, good.
I am so sorry. I don't know what happened to my mic earlier, but hey, everyone. Thank you, Craig. And I'm so sorry about earlier. I am the project manager for our OMOP initiative at UT Southwest. I've heard George speak at few of our conferences or consortium that we've had at UT Southwest. This effort's been led by Dr. Willett and Dr. Lehman at UT Southwest, and I'm really excited. We have a great team of clinicians and researchers looking forward for OMOP at our facility. So thank you. And I think I've already reached out to a few of y'all. Paul Nagy, I think we're working with the CURE project with him, and a few others that I see in the chat. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to the symposium later this year. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Amira. It's so wonderful to hear so many people, already looking forward to the symposium. It's we weren't already excited to get back in person, but to have so many new people, especially to kind of see the event live and in person, it's going to be really a wonderful weekend. Okay, so Christina, Frankie, no Frankie, Lisa McEwen. I didn't see on the list of people. Dwight Sanders. Okay. Leanne Goldstein. All right, so that is everybody who either registered or reached out, I believe, unless there's an email. So let me just open it up. Is anybody who is part of this call? Or Patrick, do you want to?
No, I think Nick Ryder's been chit-chatting that he didn't sign up for a thing, but he's on, so he can.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Nick Ryder.
Hey everyone, sorry for that. Sorry for my my backdoor entry without registering, but it's great to be part of this community. I've really enjoyed just joining these calls over the past, I guess, 6 to 8 weeks. I love the altruistic spirit and just the energy. I'm really excited to be part of this group. So I'm a clinical immunologist by training, and really had gotten into kind of data science as a clinician to solve problems for my patients who often, as another colleague mentioned, suffers from rare diseases and often go, undiagnosed for years, and started kind of working on the back end to improve, our health system to try and find those patients. And through that, learned about Odyssey and OMOP and many of the amazing tools that you all have developed. And I've recently just transitioned from Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, Texas Children's Hospital, to really a newly forming medical school and health system in Lynchburg, Virginia. And my hope is that we can build a learning health system here, really in a rural space, and leverage OMOP for that. So I'm really inspired by your work, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of the team here.
Great, thank you, Nick. Daijiro. You're on mute.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So this is Ledger. I'm a software developer, data engineer, Node.js committer, and ex-AWS at McKinsey. Related to this field, I'm contributing to Atlas on internationalization into Japanese and building a PLC for Fire to OMOP conversion under a subgroup of HL7 Vulkan project. And here I'm looking for a group where people work on data standardization solution building, as my company called UIMEDI is building GUI app that standardizes unstructured clinical data and works offline. So I'm more than happy to share our experience within this community and learn new things from you all. We've done about only like 30,000 records conversion yet, and I'm looking for a more complex data standardization. So hope I can find a place to collaborate with you all. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I see in the chat, Pranav.
Hi everyone. Sorry about that. I'm working this summer as an intern in the epidemiology and observational health data analytics at Janssen, along with Patrick Ryan and as well as Rachel Davis, the other intern. We're working together, and it's been a great few weeks so far with the team and really learning about the community as well. Throughout undergrad, I was very much interested in the healthcare informatics and the healthcare data science space, but it's so cool to be part of a community that's just so delved deep and focused into it, separate from our education itself. So really seeing all of my data science undergraduate education really applied to this space. I've been doing a lot of getting my feet wet within every single aspect of the different types of the Odyssey lifecycle, I guess, starting with patient level, going through the data integrity, patient level prediction, as well as a lot of work in the phenotyping and the clinical intelligence applications. I will be starting a master's in biostats in the fall at Weill Cornell. So if there's any colleagues that are out there, I'd love to connect and just stay connected in the community and see what else is out there for me to expand and move along with. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Pranav. Great to see interns and everybody joining and sharing their experiences and introducing themselves. All right, I don't see anybody else in the chat, but anybody
there was
wants
a Wes Anderson, Craig, from
Okay.
Critical Path, who put in the chat that similar kind of thing, hadn't had a chance to register.
Yep.
I don't know if
Okay.
he wants to.
Wes.
Yeah, hey everyone. My bandwidth is kind of limited right now. My Wi-Fi is now doing great, so I'll just hop on really quick and just say, yeah, I'm excited to be part of the community. This is my first meeting, so just getting introduced to everyone has been super nice. I'm working on a NLP solution for electronic health records, data extraction from that. So finding, others who are seeing similar problems in the field and seeing what we can get accomplished is a super exciting thing. So yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry about not registering, didn't see that. So
That's okay. Yep, great. A number of people I figured would be able to do this. So thank you for introducing yourself, and thank you, Andrew. I believe that was you who stopped me. Anybody else? You can either just unmute yourself and talk, or raise your hand. Oh, well, that was excellent. It was so nice to hear so many people. We did this last year and had about 20, and I think this was close to 25 people. So really great to hear from so many people. The one thing that a number of people have talked about is kind of the big community. It's a little intimidating. Where do I get started? That question was on a number of the registration pages. So wondering if kind of any more veteran community members just want to share a thought on kind of how do you take that small first step, or maybe this was a small step, but instead of taking it as kind of an all-encompassing, intimidating, global community, but just how do you kind of take the next step to be part of to get more involved in Odyssey?
Regular work group meetings are a good place to just sort of see what's happening. If you have a topical area in a disease domain or in certain kind of methods or tool development that you are potentially interested in, and it's very welcoming. You can go without any obligation of contributing, just see what's going on, and that's a great way to sort of see what the actual work getting done looks like, or people are organizing it, and you can sample as many as you like.
That's great advice, Andrew. And I just put a link in the chat, the form to actually join the work group, so you can just go right there. Kristen, it's great to have Kristen back.
Be a squeaky wheel. So some of you apologize for speaking up, but actually speaking up is exactly what you should do. And fun fact, we have memories like goldfish to remind us if we told you we were going to send you a link. Sometimes we go through archaeological digs in the forums and we get distracted, or we find cooler things. So don't be afraid to keep asking for help, and don't say it's a stupid question. There's no such thing. Only Christian will tell you it's a stupid question, but it's not. We're really happy to have you all here.
Absolutely, Kristen. And that's an area where, sometimes you're not sure about a question. You're not sure if it's a stupid question. Again, the people in this community are really great about kind of helping you along. Everybody here has asked what they thought was a stupid question. That wasn't a stupid question, because it's probably a question a number of other people have. So please do ask. As I said, I just put another page. We have 26 work groups right now that are active. So that link that I just put on has slides that have the objectives and key results, as well as their most recent work group presentation. So you can learn about what these work groups do, and then use that form above to join. Any other thoughts that people want to share? I know the forums was mentioned again, so that's certainly a great place. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, I think, Greg, just Camilla provided the example of expressing her interest in sleep medicine. Just to follow up on that as an example, I think that the forums is a great place to try to initiate a conversation with the community. And one piece of advice that I'd provide is, providing more specificity to what you're looking for can be very helpful. So oftentimes folks have interest in a general area, but they more specifically have an interest in potentially doing research on a particular hypothesis about, wanting to study disease natural history of a particular target, or understanding the causal effects of some medical intervention, or wanting to develop prediction models for some sort of outcome, and being able to share what is that use case that you're interested in, what's the problem that you're trying to solve, can both get people interested in the questions that you're interested in, but also think a little bit more directly about, for example, whether the data that they have may be applicable to the area. So if you are interested in a particular clinical area, being able to share kind of what research questions you have been working on or want to be working on is a great place to start conversations in the community. As Andrew mentioned, we have several work groups that have a particular clinical orientation, but oftentimes we find that the conversations start with kind of what data do we need to go get. And I think one of the biggest opportunities we have in this community is to think about what can we learn from the data that's already part of our community, and what are the opportunities that we have to collaborate to bring folks together that, I may not have particular any experience in sleep research, as Camilla's example, but I might have access to data that's at my disposal that could be helpful for her. And I think the more that we can engage meaningfully in conversations about what questions we're trying to answer and what evidence we think would be useful for patients, can get us a little bit further down the line towards turning those conversations into hopefully research network studies that can apply the best practices that we're developing in the community to generate answers and disseminate that evidence to make an impact.
Absolutely, Patrick. Thank you. A lot of times people ask about, where can I learn more? How can I learn more? And there's a number of resources, the Book of Odyssey. But one thing that I don't think we talk about enough is our YouTube channel, which I'm putting in the link right now. And I'm actually just going to share my second screen so you can see kind of what options are available. But we have a number of playlists on the YouTube channel. Any presentation done on a community call is here. Tutorials and workshops, talks, as I mentioned, from the European Symposium, are some features, are the podcasts, videocasts, workshops from DevCon, which was a great open source community session. Certainly all talks and presentations from previous global symposiums, whether they were the last two, which were completely virtual, to talks given at the previous in-person symposiums, as well as the Asia Pacific Symposium, which you can see there, and that's taking place again in November, which will be both hybrid and in person. So there's really a lot of ways that you can learn, kind of just by going through the website, going through the YouTube channel, and just asking a lot of questions on the forum or within Teams. Anybody else have any thoughts or any questions? I see, hold on, there's Andrew, sorry, go ahead.
Those were all great ways to get going. I think in addition to that, and especially if you've exhausted that already, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody in the community individually and just ask for a bit of conversation. You may have very specific questions, what it's like to do an ETL in a particular country, that's got its own idiosyncratic challenges, or what it's like to be a clinician scientist starting off who has little time but wants to get up to speed quickly. Those kind of very specific questions can be really important, gauging how you should be trying to engage, and people are often very willing to set up a little time to help advise you. But I think that's not in lieu of any of the other things that were said. In addition to that, there's, don't be afraid to contact people.
Thank you, Andrew. That's great advice. Paul.
Yeah, other thing I would suggest is if so Ross and Fazza with the early stage research group, we're bringing in a lot of successful clinical researchers and informaticians and statisticians, and we're going to be interviewing them about how they made it their career as part of Odyssey. So really learn some mentoring and some career advice in our early stage research group.
Paul, that is a great setup for next week, because next week we have some work group updates, and one of them will be the early stage researchers. And now this was a work group that was put together last year by a PhD student at Erasmus and a undergrad at UCLA, and both were Titan Award winners last year. So incredible things done for junior researchers, and we'll hear about their progress next week. So please do, if you can, make that call as well. But again, look at these work groups. You know, find out what you might be interested in. Join them. You're not going to be an active, maybe not an active member immediately, but you can join the meetings and just listen and introduce yourselves to, maybe a smaller group of people, but with similar interests, and that might be an easier way to kind of get involved early. Anybody else have any either advice or questions? We have a couple minutes. Okay, great. Well, this was a great session. Thank you to everybody who reached out and introduced themselves and put some information in the chat. Again, new members, veterans, everybody works together and makes this community what it is. So it's wonderful to hear from all of you. I know I really kind of blew through those introductions and updates early on, but again, the community calls page, which you can find on odyssey.org. But let me throw the link in here as well for anybody who may not know it. All past presentations are shared each week on the community calls page, but also updates that I go through over the first week, links to these job openings, how to register for the symposium, the publications that came out, anything that's happening in the community on a weekly basis, you'll find it on that page. So please do go to it as often as you can. All right, on that note, I will say goodbye. This recording will be posted later. If you wanted to go back and hear what somebody was talking about, you want to remember exactly what they said, or just want to go through these introductions again and reach out to people, please do so. It'll be up later today. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and have a great week. We'll see you next week for some work group updates. Take care.